Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Lady Bella here, and I am so excited that you have found this video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Ofonabo Mondia, but mostly referred to as Lady Bella. In here I share all kinds of productivity content, lifestyle and tech content. So if you're not new, welcome loves. I missed you and we are here for another interesting video. So if you have watched my previous videos, you would see that I had started a community management series for those that would love to go into one of the fields in tech, which is community management. I am a community manager myself, and I thought to just start up a series where I share with you all my knowledge on community management, my experience basically, and how I have been able to navigate that part. So I started that series, but there was a break in transmission because of course it was my birthday week, so I had some fun. If you've not seen my birthday vlog video yet, I'll link it somewhere. I'll link it somewhere so you can get to watch that. So in today's video I will be sharing with you how to choose the right platforms to host your community. Now, if you're an already existing community manager, or you are about to start, or let's say you already have a community basically and you're looking at migrating to somewhere that works for you, or you're a new community manager that is looking at choosing a platform that works for your community, then you definitely need to watch this video to the very end. So let's get straight into today's video. Okay, so the first thing that you need to put in mind when choosing the right platform for your community is to understand your audience. Now, you need to know what kind of audience you are managing, what kind of community you're managing, the people that are in that community, where do they spend time the most. Now, I bring it over to Friends of Figma Uyo. So I was a Friends of Figma Uyo advocate for about 2-3 years before I transitioned to the regional role, right? And basically at that time all the communities were hosted on Slack. I don't think there was a Discord as at then, or maybe there was, I just wasn't aware. But we had Slack and we had other platforms. We had Telegram and we had WhatsApp, we had Facebook groups and all of that, right? And trying to understand where my community members were at that time is what really helped me. So we had a Facebook community or a Facebook group, and then we also had a WhatsApp group, because in that local city, or in my local city rather, I noticed that the people in my locality mostly spend time on Facebook or WhatsApp. You rarely even see them on Twitter. So that was what made me create an account on Facebook and also create on WhatsApp. And over time, based off on people's interactions and where they felt more comfortable expressing themselves, we eventually moved to WhatsApp, and that worked. And it's also the same thing in the regional community. We used to be on Slack. Before you know it, there were some changes here and there, and we had to move to Discord. But even with that, we still had to, the region itself had to still come back to Slack before moving back to Discord. And that's because it's something that everybody generally wanted. So as a community manager, the first thing that you want to do is to understand your audience. Where do they spend time the most? You cannot pick your community members to host them on Discord or host them on Twist or Slack when they mostly spend time on Telegram. It's not going to work. It's just, it's not rocket science. It's not just going to work, right? You don't have to wrap your head around any difficult thing. It just won't work, right? So try to understand where your audience spend time the most, and sometimes it might be difficult for you to realize that. So in most cases, sending out a survey form helps, or putting out a poll. Oh, hey guys, where do you think we can host our community? I did that at some point for the advocates that I was managing, because I was torn in between moving everybody in the region to Discord or to Slack, and we're also hosting a virtual program then, so we had to make a decision between Discord and Slack, and majority of the persons voted Slack for the bootcamp and Discord for the main community, and that's how it works. So try to understand your audience. If you can't get the information outrightly, just send out polls, send out survey forms, ask questions, and you're definitely going to get valid responses that would guide you to choose the right platform. Okay, so the next thing that you need to take into consideration is the features and functionalities of that platform. Now, for instance, there are some communities that do not want to, involve so many third-party platforms to be able to carry out basic things like live streaming or having calls, so you have to compare. Let's say after you're done with your audience analysis to just find out what your audience would really want, you now check out the features and functionalities of these maybe top 5 platforms that you have come up with. So based off on the goals or based off on the things that you'd like to do with your community, you now check the features of those platforms. For instance, you can now make calls on Slack, you can do a live streaming on Discord, you can share your screen, you can accommodate so many people. There's so many things that you can do, right? So all you need to do is list out these platforms. What are they good for? You list out the features and functionalities, and then don't forget that most of these platforms are actually freemium, which means for the most part it is free, but then for you to access certain tools you have to pay for them. So these are things that you need to access. For the tools that you need to be able to pay, you need to pay before you access. Can you get it somewhere else for free if you're running on a free community that isn't funded? So these are things that you look at and put into place before you choose a platform for your community members, because trust me, if you don't look at these things and try to choose the right platform, at the end of the day, when you guys must have grown to like 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 members, it's going to be very difficult to migrate people from one platform to the other. You're going to lose community members on the way because not all of them would want to onboard into the new platform. So you need to be able to take all these things into consideration before choosing a platform. Okay, so the next one that I would want to talk about is scalability. Now, does your platform scale? Because as community managers, we're not building communities and expecting that we are going to be stuck at a certain number. We're building communities with the hopes that we're going to grow beyond where we're currently at. You might start off a community with just one person. Before you grow to 2 persons, 3 persons, 10, 15, 20, 100, 500, 1,000 persons, right? So you need to always plan for scalability when you're choosing the right platform. Now, for instance, some years back when WhatsApp only accommodated, I think, 250 or 45 people per group, it would be difficult to host a community there because, after 250, what's going to happen to the rest of the persons that want to join the group, right? So that's where you now start considering all these other platforms. But I think right now they have increased it. I think last I checked was about 700 and something. I'm not really sure, but once I confirm that data, I'm going to display it on the screen. But then they have been able to build their product to scale such that they've moved it from 250 mark and above. So you don't need to have that fear that if you use WhatsApp to host your community, you're going to be limited. But even at that, there's still a certain number that WhatsApp will not be able to take, for instance, right? So you need to look at these platforms that you have listed out. How scalable it is it? If your community grows to 100,000 members, will that platform take it, or will you have to move to a different platform? If you're currently at 1,000 members and then maybe your community member strength grows to 5,000, will that platform take it, or will you need to move to another platform? So when choosing platforms to host your communities, always put that in mind, because we're trying to build a community. Obviously new people will join. There will always be people that join and there will always be people that leave, but lean more towards the side of, okay, new people are going to join this community. So try to see how far you can go, how far you can stretch, and choose the right platform. So the next thing that I want to talk about is how user friendly that platform is. It's not about choosing a platform, because most of these community members, even if you create a full onboarding kit for them, most of them don't really have that patience to go through that onboarding kit. I mean, it's natural, it happens with all humans. You may not really have that patience to go through the entire onboarding. So what do you do at that point as a community manager? Nothing, right? So that's why you need to take into consideration if that platform has a good user experience. Is it user friendly? Is it something that users can easily just open up and they know, okay, this is where to click to sign up, this is where to click to change my profile picture, my settings, this is where I click to, you know, there is how you open up a new product for the first time and you don't necessarily need the manual, you just find yourself navigating it. So how user friendly is this platform you're choosing? If it's something that users find a bit difficult to, you know, join or onboard themselves with, best believe they won't even use the platform at all. And I'm very sure that you've had this experience where, let's say you wanted to use a platform and maybe one or two things happen. Probably you didn't like the color, or you didn't like how certain things were positioned, or you were just confused about a couple of things and then you left that platform. Trust me, the moment you leave a digital platform out of out of bad user experience, it's going to be very difficult to go back. So when choosing platforms to manage your communities, ensure that it is user friendly, and if you must, you can even test it out with a couple of persons. You know, sign up on this platform, what is your experience, how do you feel, is there anything that is, you know, making you get stuck? And also always keep that in mind when choosing platforms to manage your communities. Lastly, I would want to talk about moderation and safety. You need to be sure that whatever platform you're using is safe for your community members. You don't want any data breach, you don't want anybody's you don't want bot attacks, you don't want anything that would come and make your community members feel out of place. So always research the moderation, always research the safety, you know, the safety standards that these platforms have taken into consideration to be able to protect the information, data of your community members. So yeah, that is the last tip that I'm going to give you today. So as a community manager, it's a bit useless if I now list out tools. Okay, go and use this. I can only list out tools based off of what I have used and how those tools have helped me. But as a community manager, it's always advisable to do your research. Go and ask your audience, go into your audience, do the audience insights, send out surveys, send out polls, try to understand what exactly they want. Because honestly, we community managers are empathizers, we are therapists, we are everything. So if you don't try to understand your audience, who are you going to understand? Nobody, because you're trying to build a community. So these guys need to be there for you, right? So in order for them to be there for you, you need to show them that you can be there for them as well, right? So go into your audience, do that deep research, test out platforms before you finally choose a platform that works for your community, and also ensure that it aligns with the goals for your community. You know, if you're someone that wants to be hosting podcasts or wants to be live streaming, wants to be having general calls on that same platform, you need to be able to choose a platform that helps you do all of those things without necessarily, you know, sharing links here and there. So yeah, that brings me to the last part of this video. Let me know in the comment section if you learned a thing or two in this video, and also feel free to drop video recommendations of what you would want me to talk to you or share with you about in community management, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.